Hi everyone, it's Judith Briles, the book shepherd and your author and publishing expert, and I thought today it'd be fun to go through the Show Me About Book Publishing quiz to find out what kind of author you are. It comes from the book that John Kramer and Rick Frischman and I put together for you, Show Me About Book Publishing, that we'd highly recommend that you all have. It's available in print as well as e-format. So let's start with some of those questions. First of all, number one, are you passionate about your topic, about your book? And that means the words are you. There's a huge investment here. It's huge. Financial, time, energy. And are you passionate enough that it's not a job, it's your love. It's the difference between a vocation and an avocation when you work. Next up, is being in control important for you? I mean, is it important to you for how the book cover looks? Is it important for you how the quality, how in a printed book, how the paper feels? Is it important for you how the visual display of the book is? Is it important for you, when the book comes out? Is control important for you? Next up, is it important that your book, this thing you're passionate about, is available to other people within a few months? Or does it matter? Could you wait a year, 18 months, 2 years? Because you see, that's going to be the difference between if you determine you publish it yourself, whether you take a self-publish, a small press, independent route, or you go the traditional route. Which is it for you? And if it's important for you to get your book out fairly soon, then doing it yourself is what your option is. Next up, do you have the time to commit to your book project? That's a critical thing, because books do take you over. And they take you away from family, they take you away from sometimes your job, they take you over some interaction with friends, they take you away from your hobbies and other things you love. Books take time. Do you have the time? Will you make the time to create your book? And then, do you want your covers to look a certain way? And I will be the first to put on the table, I am a control freak when it comes to covers. I want them to have a certain look, a certain feel. I will work with my cover designers until we get it just right. For my book, Author You, creating and developing the author and book platforms, one of the last things I said to Nick, the designer of it, both the interior and exteriors, I said, can you change the O that was big and black? Would you just try purple, my favorite color? Would you just try that so I can just see how it looks? And we all agreed it was better. So being in control, dictating literally how you want things to shape out, to be positioned, to maybe be gradient. Is that important to you? All right, then, it's important to have a quality looking book. And that would deal with the paper. That would be the size. That would be whether it's glossy or matte, whether it has embossing, or does it have spot coating? Does it have any foil things on the cover? Does it have images that you want to bring in that wouldn't be traditional? And it's always a good idea. I've always sent authors down to bookstores. Really look at high quality books and see what sings to you. Could you see these things, these images, these layouts, these graphics on your book? Get ideas. Look at others. Are you willing to make mistakes and correct them? Every author makes mistakes. I don't care how many times they've been to the rodeo. We all make them. Are you willing to correct them? Sometimes you have to pull a printing. Awful. Be very expensive. Sometimes you just have to make a little tweak to it. But are you willing to correct any mistakes and certainly forgive yourself? Do you have the financial resources to support the book as well as yourself in the creation of it? And books can be done very inexpensively, and they can be done very expensively. It depends upon what format, what kind of presentation you're going to do, interior as well as exterior. It depends upon how many books you print. It depends upon what kind of consultants you have on the journey with you to support you, to help you, to educate you, to guide you. It depends upon who and what you pay for designers, both interior, exterior, for editors. Do you have the financial resources? You need to make a book budget for this. All right, are you willing to learn from the pros? And this is always important. As many books that I've written, 30 is the number right now, I still go to workshops and conferences to look for new ideas, avenues that will open me up. It's amazing, not only the connections I make, but also I come back with new ideas and concepts. So, do you know who your buyer is? This is critical. You've got to know who your reader is. Who's the buyer of your book? And you don't want to waste a lot of time with people telling them all about your book, but they tell you, I don't read. There are people who don't read, who don't buy books. So, do you know who your buyer is? The more you narrow that down, I'm telling you, the much more bigger and explosive your sales potential is. And then, are you persistent? Are you willing to be really persistent and really push it and be so myopic as you put your book together? Do you have a niche? And that niche is when I was talking about sabotage, my book on sabotage in the workplace. That was a niche. The workplace was healthcare. The niche, the more you narrow that down, you become the whale in the lake versus the sardine in the sea. Much more power for you to have. And then, do you want to make money? Do you know what success looks like for you? Is your name on a book cover? Is it a foreign sale? Is it being on Fox or CNN or your local news or your splashed across the paper? Is it winning book awards? Is it speaking in front of big groups and selling lots of books? What's success? Do you know what success is? And lastly, are you willing to learn about the business of publishing? The dollars, the cents, and the sense of it. If you can answer yes to most of those, you're ready to move in the publishing route. If you answer no, it's better stop the journey now before you run into detour and barrier after barrier, because there will be detours. You are going to run into obstacles. You are going to hit the walls and barriers. But when you get to the finish line, it's glorious. I'm Judith Briles. We'll see you next time.